Well, folks. We meet here at the same site once again. I'd like to give a warm welcome back to the TJR Auto channel. My name is Tyler, and in today's video, we're going to be doing the unthinkable. We have to tear the GTO back apart. So, for those who don't know, this is my Frankenstein of an 04 GTO named Gemma, and this car has been nothing but a pain in the ass to me. So, in today's video, we're going to be tearing it back apart again, and we are going to further be going over the discoveries I made probably about a month ago or a couple weeks ago. The last time, easily a month ago actually. I don't like saying that out loud. Easily a month ago, some of the discoveries that I made, unfortunately, the last time that we had the car on the road.
Bro, are you kidding me, dude? How? How the
Alrighty guys, well 45 minutes later, we have the driver 799 head off of the 6.0 once again. So just at a quick glance, the head itself looks fine and the block itself also looks fine. Of course, there's nothing visibly wrong here, go figure. I will say these two pistons are, I'm going to have to look at old footage and old pictures. Those look a lot cleaner than I thought they used to be. So we probably had coolant seeping into here as well, which is kind of scary to think about. But when I did pull the head off, there was a little bit of milkshake kind of sitting right outside of the bolt holes too, these 3 bolt holes. A little scary, but everything else looks okay as far as I can tell. And then same goes for the head, and I have the head gasket behind it. Everything looks fine. So it once again, this issue goes deeper than what is actually, visible to anybody's eyes. It's more so something is either cracked in the head, allowing coolant past the head bolts, or the block is cracked in the head bolt holes, and one of the two is fucked. But the way that I plan on figuring out which one is the issue is that guy. So this right here is a 241 LS head. This actually came off of my blown up 5.7 LS1 sitting yonder. That was the original motor, at least when I got the car, the original motor in the car from when I got it. I blew this up the week of Christmas. And this is the driver's side head. The head actually, this one came out unscathed. I did bend a valve in this head, but everything else underneath it looks like beautifully fine, surprisingly. So I gave it a quick wash, degreased it and whatnot, just to get, contaminants off of it. And we can still see that there's, some dirt on like the surface. So I probably will, once this thing, I'm going to let it dry out and blow it out with some compressed air. I figure I'll do a very light high grit sanding on it with a piece of metal to keep it flat, keep it clean, and make sure that we can get like as best of a sealing surface as possible. But I ran my hands all the way across this entire surface. There's not one spot that catches my fingernail aside from like the old gasket material, but there's no weird spots, which is crazy to me because the 799s were actually in worse shape surface mounting wise when I put them on the 6.0 originally. So we're going to let this bad boy dry out some more before we do anything with it. This we kind of can't do shit with, and the only thing we can really do here is clean up the surface once again before we go to throw the 241 head on it. So I figure we'll reuse this head gasket, reuse these head bolts since they're the newest ones and they have the least amount of runtime on them compared to the last time the 6-liter was together. Those mixed with the 241, we'll throw it on here, and I think the only thing we'll have to do is I'll have to tighten up my lower rad hose again and hook up the steam port. Once that's all good, then what I want to do is pressurize the cooling system, and this will be our test, at least in my eyes. If we have coolant come out of the same 3 head bolts, right? We had these 3 head bolts here, had coolant puddling around the shoulder of the bolt. If we have coolant come out of there, again, with this head, I'm going to take a guess to say the block is cracked. If we do not have coolant puddle up around those 3 head bolts in that head, then most likely the block is fine, and this head here is our issue. And then from there, I'm going to have to source another head. I'm going to have to swap over all the springs, So, well, this is my, my science experiment. I'm actually going to take a break now. While that dries out, I'm going to go grab some beer, grab some food, and rent a pressure tester. At this point, I should probably just buy one. All right. So we have a special guest there. He's behind the camera. Everybody say hello to Mr. Mike. But we have everything cleaned up. So Mike helped me clean up the 241 head. This thing is good to go. Everything is smoothed out on the mounting surface, so we should be good there. I cleaned up all of the head bolts. They are probably stretched, but I figure if we go a little bit tighter, we should be okay. I cleaned up the MLS head gasket over yonder. And last but not least, we did clean up the block. I didn't take anything to it aside from just, cleaning it, and I blew every bolt hole out as good as I could. So at this point, I think we're ready to throw the dowels back in, head gasket, head bolts, and then we will seal back up the cooling system. I have all the coolant under the car. I've kept it in a bucket. So we will filter the coolant, put it back in, throw the pressure tester on, and then I need to cut my grass. But we're going to see what happens after we pressure test. So, yes. I've had a couple beers, so I'm feeling very nice. Alrighty, folks. Well, with the generous help of Mike, we were able to get the driver's side head, well, the 241 head, on, bolted in, all that jazz. Everything seems fine. We then filled up the cooling system with the coolant that came out of the motor. I might have made a couple oopsies, such as the coolant temp sensor and not tightening a lower rat hose, but that issue will fix itself. Everything is sealed up. We're sitting at 15 psi. We're going to go get some dinner and come back and see if we get any coolant leaking through here or going anywhere else crazy. But yeah, so let's yeah. I'm not using this in the video because I don't fucking know what's going on. Alrighty, guys, it has been a couple days since I last filmed, and I would like to say we have some good news. So if we look here, you can see we have just over 15 psi, and guess what? There is nothing in any of the cylinder bolt holes. Seems like the head is the issue and not the block, so I'll take that. It's expensive to fix, not nearly as expensive as it would be to be replacing the block, so I'll take it. But I'm going to be wrapping up today's video here so that I can get a move on with finding some heads. I need to get them cleaned up, and I got to get this thing back together because I miss driving it, and I want to drive it with the nicer weather we have coming up. So with that being said, thank you guys as always for tuning in. I truly do appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed today's video, drop a like down below, drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think, if you guys have ever had any, something similar to this. And also, if you want to see more content, make sure you subscribe down below. Hit the little, one of them guys. Again, thank you guys for tuning into today's video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.